I'm here with Jerry, and technically we're competitors. I mean, we're both in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but there are literally so many agents to go around. And so I think something you would probably agree with is like competition is only something people worry about at the start. And then once they grow, it's like not as much of an issue. But anyway, I get to interview him today, hopefully learn about how he's grown his business, built an awesome business pretty quickly. So yeah, I guess just introduce your business and when you started and that kind of thing, Evan.
Yeah, so like Eli said, I operate in the DFW area, and his company's pretty much the reason how I got into this business. I found you on Facebook, heard your story about how, so many people have grown their business, and I was like, I can do this too. So I bought the video course at the time when you were offering.
Yeah.
But then at some point I was like, I need something more.
Yeah.
So that's why I joined coaching last September.
Yeah.
In the fall, and I've been pretty much growing ever since, to the point where I'm now operating my business full time as of January 1st of this year.
Yeah, congrats. So what got you into real estate media in the first place? I mean, I know you saw my video, but like, did you have a photography background, or like where did that come from?
It's funny, like I've always enjoyed photography. I would take like kind of like street photos of like cars, just like wherever I'm at in the city. So it's something I always enjoyed, and I've always wanted to start a business. I just never knew what.
Yeah.
And so when I got to your content, it really, pushed me to be like, hey, this is, what I want to do. I'm seeing other people succeed in it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I was also kind of lucky that I found it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have, been where I'm at today if it wasn't,
Sure.
for all that.
Yeah. So what, and coaching aside, what helped you build, a 6-figure real estate media business this quickly? Like, what did you do? And for someone who's just starting, what would you, besides coaching, what would you encourage them to start working on and doing?
I think having a community is probably the biggest thing you can have for yourself, is just having other people that, that either know business or that are in that industry that you want to be in, and to have those people that you look up to and kind of, hear their stories and just, really want to like go for what you want to achieve.
Yeah, well, it makes you feel like it's possible, I think.
Absolutely.
That was a big one for me.
Absolutely.
Like, if you don't have someone to kind of be like, that's what I want to build towards, it's so much harder.
And if you don't have that map, you don't know like where to go.
Yeah, you don't know what's possible or where to go.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So you started your business, obviously. You have a lot of clients today. What are some of the things you did specifically to get those clients?
Social media, just doing the Instagram method, reaching out to as many people as possible. Like I spent like sleepless nights just messaging as many agents as possible. There's been days where I've sent like more than 70 in a day.
In a day.
And,
okay,
and,
there you go.
and, luckily Instagram didn't ban me or whatever, so I kind of got away with that.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like that's helped me kind of grow as quickly as I did in the short amount of months that I have. And the more growth that I'll continue to grow. So definitely social media, and just
getting your name out there.
Getting my name out there. Yeah.
It's awesome you said the 70 in a day thing, because I'll have people all the time, they'll get in the live or they'll DM me and they'll be like, I've been doing the Instagram method for a while, it's not really working. I love those questions. I'm trying not to smile. I'm like, okay, yeah, dang, sorry to hear that. How many messages have you sent? And they're like, I've been doing it for 3 months. I'm like, that's not a number of messages. That's a number of time. Like, how many messages? They're like, probably 20.
It's like vanity
20 total?
Yeah.
And Jerry's sending 70 in a day, and probably like, I don't know how many total, but a ton. So I guess what would you say to the person that says, I've sent 20, it's not working?
If it's not working, you got to do more. Like if there's people that are out there, making however much in revenue simply by, outreach on social media, there's got to be a reason. And it's not because of the Instagram, it's probably because of the person.
The volume,
The volume,
yeah. So how long did it take before you started seeing results? Obviously, if you don't know to the day, no worries. But like, you obviously didn't get a first client your first day, probably not. Mm-hmm. What did that look like, that initial period?
Kind of rough, because at first you kind of put in a lot of work first couple days, couple of weeks, just putting your name out there to as many places as possible, and not necessarily seeing the weeks. But it's funny, like this industry, it only takes at most maybe a month or so to get like a shoot or something.
Yes.
And then from there it's just like another shoot, and then like you always say, it's like a snowball effect, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's kind of like the fun part of the business too. It's like just not knowing like what all
like
you can
fishing.
do.
You're like waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's and it's also like that analogy that you always talk about too. It's like the two miners, like one is very close to hitting the gold or the whatever, and he gives up. Whereas this other person is like,
it's like one more
consistently, one more. Like you never know like what one agent can do for your business.
Yeah.
And that's something I always tell myself. It's like one agent can really change your life.
Yeah, just having that like I'm one client away mentality makes you like hit the keep mining a little bit.
Exactly.
You said something I think is really important, which is it was tough when you didn't know, but it wasn't that long. Even the 4 weeks gets a lot of people to give up. You know, what made you keep sending those messages when you weren't necessarily seeing any result?
I mean, just hearing other people's stories of, you know, their what they achieved.
Yeah.
Some couple of people specifically, like Kevin, Colleen, Mike Namoff, Stan, Warren. I mean, there's so many people within the community that have reached such, you know, great levels of success. It's almost impossible not to, so long as you just keep doing it.
So you could basically borrow their like their confidence, because you're like, they did it. It's
Exactly.
like,
And that's what I do all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever they're doing for their business, let me apply for mine, and it's only gonna exponentially grow. And that's what I've seen so far. And it's only gonna continue.
Well, and the nice thing is, you said like the snowball analogy. I love that, because you have to do work to get it together, and then once it starts rolling, it can kind of, the referrals, it goes on its own. So once you get to that point, though, you don't need the motivation anymore.
Right.
Like when you have shoots coming in, you don't like, how do I stay motivated? You just do the shoots.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So for everybody that's listening, it's like the hardest part, at least to me, maybe there's a harder future coming that I don't know about yet, but like from what I've done in my business, the single hardest part is the first part, right? And so, like you said, I think it's really important to find somebody you can kind of model and just borrow that they're successful and just take it like, if they can do it, I can do it kind of thing. So let's talk about your business kind of now and what you're looking to do. So you've obviously built a great business. You're starting to get busy. What is your goal for the business, or what are you looking to do with it?
Yeah, so my next goal is just grow the team, kind of hire photographers, hire my first photographer, and kind of grow my business to the point where it can run without me so much, and so that I can step away from being in the business and just work on the business.
Yeah.
And part of it comes from my last job. I worked at a Chick-fil-A, and I was a kitchen lead. And, you know, in my times at Chick-fil-A, I was always like operating the kitchen, training people, making sure all the, you know, food product was good. But I think the best part of that job was just having that team aspect and that camaraderie. Like I always tell people, like, if you're in the kitchen, you're going to war. Like in those like busy days when you have a full line.
The line, it's going fast.
I mean, and it's going fast, and you know, you got to be ready. But in those moments, that's when you kind of share, like, you know, your best moments with other people. And that's,
you get to build something together, and it's like,
absolutely. And that's something I kind of want to have for my business too. And so that's my next big goal.
So talking about Chick-fil-A a little bit, is there anything you learned at Chick-fil-A that's helped you in your business?
Absolutely. Like the leadership aspect, because Chick-fil-A was my first job. And, you know, before I was leading, I never really saw myself as a leader. And I never knew what like my leader, you know, roles like were. And so when I was working at Chick-fil-A, I kind of realized, oh, like people, you know, I'm influencing other people. By my actions and how I like lead other people.
Regardless of role, just what you're doing.
It's just what I'm good at. It's just kind of having that connection with other people. So that has definitely helped me like realize like, oh, I can definitely apply this with my business. As well as like, you know, certain things like, you know, speed, operations, customer service, because, you know, Chick-fil-A, we're always saying my pleasure. And so all of that.
Do you still say that by accident?
Oh yeah. not even by accident.
Use it.
Like
Just
sometimes, like maybe in the home, maybe by accident, but like I'm always intentional about saying my pleasure
to clients.
To clients, because I want to have that association. It's definitely gonna help.
That's so funny. Your brother says something, or your like mom or somebody in your family, and you're like, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
Like, stop doing that. That's awesome. So, okay, I want to talk a little bit about, we'll talk about some like exciting things in a second. On the more quote unquote negative side, I always try to talk about that a little bit, because it's not like when you look at somebody else's business, you're like, oh, it's easy, they got to 50K a month or whatever. And it was like, there's always struggles they went through. What are some of the tougher things for you so far about running your business?
Tough things for me, I think, really just having the discipline to do the necessary day-to-days to grow the business. So not necessarily like certain things like, you know, delivery, like things that have to be done. But maybe things like, say if I have extra time in the day, like doing more outreach, like, you know, picking up the phone, because it's scary. It's not easy picking up the phone and calling some random person. So really just having that discipline to you know, do the necessary things to reach my goals. Yeah,
because once you're getting shoots too, you kind of can get like, it's easy to be lazy and just be like, I'll just wait for tomorrow's shoots, you know, and it's like, stay off the gas.
Stay on that platform.
And then the shoot cancels and you're like, I really should be doing this, but then you just waste the time and then you feel bad about it. So that's kind of like mental. That's part of, I mean, that's all like at every stage, I think.
Absolutely.
There's always like something you know you need to do that you're not doing. And I think for me at least, when I don't want to do it, it's almost always what I really need to do. Which is like a good radar thing. You can be like, oh, like for everybody listening that hasn't done a shoot yet, you need to do whatever it takes to get your first shoot, right? And then you're gonna go like, Eli, you know, I'm not ready for the first shoot. It's like, cool, you need to do a practice shoot then. And do it over your own house, but you don't need to do 12 practice shoots. You know what I mean? Like you need just enough to do it. Okay, so that was kind of like the thing that's tougher, is just, you know, pushing yourself, especially to do things you don't want to do, but really just do anything like to move the business forward. It's easier to just not, right? what are some of the milestones that like made you go like when you hit it? Like, was your first paid shoot, your first like 5K month? Like, what stuck out to you?
I think for me, it was definitely when I made more money in a day than a whole like paycheck at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
That was like my biggest like wow.
Yeah.
Like, because that's leverage.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I just immediately like it just like unlocked like this huge
Yeah.
like mindset for me
Yeah.
that I can really do anything
Yeah.
if I put more focus and time into this and
Yeah.
just this and just focus simply on growing the business.
Yeah.
And then I think recently for me is definitely hitting my first 10K.
Yeah,
like
that's a
that was
big
just
one.
like wow, this is
Get an
just
extra
awesome.
figure in there,
Absolutely,
get a comma
yeah.
in 2 spots.
Yeah,
over,
and just
you know?
building that savings account it's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Who do you tell if you have that? Like, did you have a community that you get to like celebrate that with, or what does that look like for you?
I mean, other than coaching, like
Yeah.
I my family,
Yeah.
they're definitely inspired about like what I do. I'm really like the first, business owner within the family.
Oh, nice.
So whatever, the wins that I have, like the wins I post on the Circle
Yeah.
channel, I always share with them, and
That's
they're just like
awesome.
mind blown.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
absolutely awesome.
It is like when you start having success in a business, it almost seems fake to a lot of people. It's like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like for you had that moment of like, oh, I just got a paycheck in a day, and it's hard to have a job after that unless you
Yeah.
just want to do the job. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
you just see something, and so I think it's really cool. It's cool you're the first one too, because you kind of show other people what's possible. I think
Yeah.
like getting people. I think inspiring people and like showing people what they can do
Mhm.
owning a business is really cool, because like you get to do something great, you can make money, which is cool, but you also become a different person in the process, and I think that's where a lot of the like long-term fulfillment is too. You just like become, because now I always like to ask people this, but like before, if you would have had to move to a new city, you would have been like, oh, I'm gonna go get a job, and you would have figured it out. How confident are you now that you can basically get dropped anywhere in the US and build a real estate media business like that?
Fairly confident.
Yeah.
Like immediately I can do it.
And dude, how like it gives you like a certain sense of peace, because you're like, I at least got this baseline. I have like a backup plan. I think that's really
Because it tells
cool.
you like you know how to bring value to other
Yep.
people, and
Yep.
as soon as you like kind of learn that, you don't have like that survival mindset anymore.
Yeah.
You have the abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes your entire like perspective.
Mhm.
It's like until you get it, you don't. But then, as like even Isaiah, who's behind the camera, we talk about this all the time. It's just like crazy to think about the things that we used to do for like $20.
Yeah.
And now you have this thing. It's
For
like
long hours too.
for long hours, hard
Yeah.
work. Like our dad was good at teaching us to like work hard, and so it's like if you ask him for a job, you're literally like splitting logs in the backyard, like genuinely, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a terrible way to make money. But I think it's good to have that perspective, but it's also good to have the perspective like, shoot, you can do a paycheck in a day if you build a system. And so that's what I'm excited to see you grow and build a team, because I think you're gonna really like, you'll thrive in that environment, and it's way more fun too.
Yeah. I mean, I just hired my first VA this month, and it's been awesome just having her like kind of help me with delivery, QC, and those roles are only gonna increase as my business kind of grows. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited for other opportunities that are gonna come this year.
Yeah, you never know. That's the cool part about business too, is it's the downside is it's merit based. So if you don't do good, you don't do good. But if you do, it grows, and it's awesome. So I guess kind of as a final point, any advice for people that they heard you talk about the 10K month and that seems impossible to them and they haven't started, like any specific advice to them that you would have wanted to hear?
Any specific advice? I think really having, if you have that innate feeling of knowing you're meant for more, and you see an opportunity where you can thrive in this opportunity, just take it and find other people that are doing the exact same thing that you want to do, and learn as much as possible. Like there's no reason why you can't really do anything. Like if there are people out here that are making however many thousands a month doing something as boring as either real estate or lawn mowing or whatever, it really, anything is possible if you put your mind into it and you focus on just growing it. And have other people be like the inspiration to your
borrow
story.
it.
Yeah, just take from other people, and you'll be surprised what you can do in as little as maybe like 6 months or a
Isn't
year.
that crazy?
It doesn't take that long.
It's like a lot of people talk about how business is like a long game, and sure, but like doesn't mean you can't get a ton of results in the short term. If people are like, I grinded forever and then it was successful, like it was 2 months. That's not that's like not a long time.
Like just couple of days of just not sleeping.
Yeah.
So worth it.
What do you think the next revenue thing is that you're going to screenshot in Stripe and be excited about?
Probably 50K.
Okay, so 50K, we got to do another one of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely, which
Thanks
is
for your
happening
time.
very soon.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.